Hi, everyone. Welcome to the second video for the Bold Trail training. My name is Shania Copeland. I work with Maximum One Platinum Realtors, and I'm the office manager for Tracy Foster. In this video, you guys will learn how to set up and transfer your contacts. So all the contacts that you have that are in your phone, your email, anything that you use to keep up with contacts, if you even have it written down somewhere in a notebook, you will need all of those contacts. So try to get the people's email if you can, last name, first name, phone number. If they have a work phone number, get that too if you can. The more you have, the better the database will be able to filter it when you get ready to send out emails, texts, and just any notifications that you need for an incoming property or listing. Now, as you can see here, here's the thing. So you'll need a list or spreadsheet of your contacts, first and last name, and their form of contact. So like I said, their phone number and an email will do great. Your phone will be needed for this. So even if you have an iPhone or Android, either will work for this. You obviously need your computer and then access to your email contacts and any other source for your contacts. So you have two options for this. This first option is you can actually, import them. So you can let Bold Trail do this for you. This saves time and also helps you eliminate the chances of this being wrong and your data being incorrect. Or you can import the contacts yourself to retain full control. So if you feel like, hey, this is easy, I can do this, I can make a CSV file, let's do it. But if you do decide to do it yourself, I recommend using the template that they give you so that you can make sure that the file is formatted correctly. So you want to be able to export all your contacts. So in order for Bold Trail to set up your contacts, you need to get them from your phone or your email. And you would need to create a CSV file, which is a comma separated values file. You can use apps on your phone to be able to do that. So if you say you use Google and your iPhone, you can take your Google contacts and your iOS contacts and send them off. And same thing can be said for Android. Now, if you do this manually, there are multiple ways that this can be done. You can use Google Sheets to make the CSV file. You can use Numbers, which is on Mac OS, iPad OS, and on iOS, or you can use Microsoft Excel. But please note, these apps will have free versions of them, but some of them will require money if you are doing more than 100 contacts. So here is the QR codes for the two apps that I found, one for iOS and one for Android. They do both have a paywall on them. So just keep that in mind. But I think once you pay for it that one time, you don't have to pay for it again. So when you're creating the CSV file for your email, depending on the domain you're using, such as Outlook or Gmail, if you have a contacts list, you want to be able to turn that into a CSV file. So for Outlook, when you go to Outlook to be able to do this, there are 4 different ways that you can export these contacts to a CSV file. You can use a new Outlook desktop app, or you can use new Outlook Insiders or the desktop. So Insiders would technically be on the web. Then you have the classic Outlook desktop, and then you have just the web version. For the desktop and web version, you have to go to the side panel and select the people icon. And there's an option for you to manage the contacts, and it should appear with a drop down for the exported contacts so you can export them. You'll choose how you want to do it. Like I said, you want to do the CSV file, and then you can save it to a desired folder. How I recommend to be able to keep up with all of this and keeping up with your CSV files, create a dedicated folder on your computer that is for contacts. So that way, when you go to export all of these files, you can just automatically put it in that folder. So then when you get ready to send this information off to Bold Trail, it will make your life so much easier than instead of trying to search for where you put it. And this is also what that contact icon will look like. So for Google Contacts, Google only offers one way to do this, and you have to do it in the browser. You cannot do this from your phone. So it doesn't matter technically which type of device you're using when it comes to your computer. It can be Windows or Mac OS. It's still going to be the same thing. So when you log into your desired Gmail account, you'll click on the box of dots that sit right here, and this next to your profile picture, and you'll look for the contacts button, which is right here. Once you select the contacts, or all of them, the ones that you want, because you might not want every contact to be on there, you'll click more actions. There should be 3 dots or a left side menu for you to export these. You'll choose the format. You can either do it in Google CSV, Outlook CSV, or a VCard, and then click export to download the file. and it's all yours. Either way, they're still going to be the same thing. They'll still be able to read it. You can do all three versions, so then you can just cover all bases, but they're all still CSV files and they'll still be recognized. So when you go into creating a manual CSV spreadsheet, this is what it looks like. So you'll have like, your first name, last name, phone number, and then email. So I just kind of made up some names here. This is what it will look like once you export the file. So it'll have the name of it, first, last name, phone number, and email. But these are two different ways that they can be shown. I did this in Google Sheets, which like I said, you can also do it in Numbers if you have that for Mac OS. Depending on the device you're using, they're still going to be used the exact same. I would say if you are using it on Windows or on Mac OS, Google Sheets is the best option. It's just a lot more user friendly. Bold Trail does offer a template for you to use if you want to do this. So I would recommend downloading the template and using that. Add as much information that you can. This helps with information because once these contacts are imported into your account, information will help with the lead type and the source type, because you'll be able to go in there on your own and manually click which ones and update the contacts what they are. So when you do the bulk importing for the contacts into Bold Trail, you're going to go to your dashboard and click the lead engine and click bulk import. So down here where it says lead engine, this is where you're going to click and this is what it looks like. And then you will start your import here and it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. It's either going to say, let us handle it or do it yourself. So the let us handle it option, when you click on this, you will have these forms that'll come up here. So it's going to ask you all the information that you are planning on giving them for them to put the contacts in there. They're going to ask you, how do you know the leads? Are they your own leads? Do you get them from somewhere? Did they come from a specific company? You're going to put in all the files that you have. I'm pretty sure you can upload as many as you need. And then they'll ask you a question about, do you have a separate note file? And you'll say yes or no, depending on what your answer is to that. You have your import preferences. They're going to ask you for your information. So your name, your email, phone number, and they're going to ask you your agent, a broker, office manager, where you're located, where are you assigning these leads to, and then they're going to have this lead import request that you need to read so you know where the information is being sent to. Now, the do-it-yourself option will look like this. It's just going to be, you select the contact ownership, match the fields, you'll put in view contacts, you'll upload all the information that you have, and then it'll just kind of essentially, you'll go in and do everything manually instead of having Bold Trail do it. If Bold Trail does do this for you, it takes 24 to 48 hours for them to be able to import all of your contacts, depending on how many contacts you have. So now how do you organize your contacts once they're in the database? Once everything is imported into your account, you can go to your CRM and you can organize the contacts using like quick filtering. So you have the sphere, prospect, new lead, and active lead. So sphere is a contacts you know who may or may not be searching for real estate. You have prospect, which is contacts you've met or have information for who you want to convert into a lead. They're not actively searching, but your efforts are directed towards them to do so. Then you have new leads, which is contacts who have been assigned up on your website, either from an ad or some other lead source, example being an email import or text or anything of that such. Then you have active leads, which is contacts who are actively returning to your website to view properties. So these are people that you will constantly see that keep coming up, and you can tell that they're actively in the market looking for a property. Now, here are the other ones. We have client, contracts, closed, and archive. So client is contracts you are working with or showing homes to, etc. Contract is contacts who are in buying or selling transaction process. Close is contracts have been completed as a transaction. Archived, contacts you do not intend to work or communicate with. Moving a contact to the status will unsubscribe them from any further automated communication. So these are things you update as the process goes on. So if you're in the middle of a pending buy or a seller, you will update that contact so that Bold Trail knows, hey, we don't need to send them the same email over and over again because they're already in the buying or purchasing process. So now you have 5 different types of leads. You have buyer, seller, renter, vendor, and agent. So when you go to add a contact or going to change it, you can choose what type of lead type they are and then what their lead status are. Do note, lead type, lead status, 2 completely different things. They are not the same. Do not get them confused. Now, this information also can be changed at any time once Bold Trail puts it in there. You do not have to set what they have. You can change it. Even if a name is spelled wrong, you want to go and change it, you can go and do that. There's nothing blocking you from being able to update that information. So don't feel like, it being in the CRM means that it's set in stone. Like everything can be changed. And always try to keep this information up to date. If they change their number, they change the email, they change their name, and they let you know that they've done that, go ahead and do it. Do it immediately so you won't forget. Because then if there's someone who is actively looking for something and you have the wrong number or the wrong email, they're not going to be able to get any notifications because the information is inadequate and it's not sufficient. But you're all done. Expand your networks and keep going and keep it up. You guys are doing a great job. And I'll see you guys in the next video.